everyone. Welcome to episode 132 of Formidable Opponents, a show that pits three people who have known each other virtually their entire lives in a series of conversations as we argue what is best in a variety of fun, engaging, and critical pop culture topics we all debate about. I'm Randall, and with me as always, Bob and Joseph. And this week's topic is Sexiest 2000 Songs. We encourage you to listen to this episode alone. No, not because of the sultriness of the subject matter, but because three middle-aged men decided it would once again be a good idea to talk about sexy songs, and you decided it was a good idea to listen. But don't leave us yet, because we are here to take you back to an era where the songs meant something. Maybe it was Sean Paul's gibberish, and perhaps a little whiskey that turned up your night. Maybe it was Enrique Iglesias whispering love promises to you in Spanish as you were splitting a Nachos Bel Grande with that special someone at a Red Roof Inn. Or maybe Beyonce made you feel irreplaceable. You know, she might be free soon enough. Tonight, by the way, these notes were from December. Tonight, we're diving deep into the decade's sultry serenades. The swoon, the sweat, the viruses. I'm talking about the ones from your LimeWire catalog as you downloaded the music magic. These songs ooze confidence, seduction, and just the perfect amount of I'm only listening to this for one purpose. And that's because you loved it. Yes, we're talking about the songs that made your heart race and your temperature rise before we even knew what COVID was. For many of our listeners, this will take you back to a time when physical exertion didn't mean stumbling down the driveway to get your garage bin into the curb on time. No, we're talking about the only physical exertion you had in association with the garbage you met in the club. That's right. This week, Formidable Opponents debate and discuss Sexiest 2000 Song. With me, as always, are two guys who went from listening to my neck, my back, to now complaining about them. Bob and Joseph, how are you guys doing?
Ooh, I can be your hero. Like that.
Welcome back.
We are a little rusty, man. A little rusty.
It's been a while. There you go, Joseph.
You know, guys, I know we waited 6 weeks to record, but thanks for waiting an additional 15 minutes. Yeah. Thanks for waiting. Thank you both for waiting an additional 15 minutes while I watched Chaperone perform Pink Pony Club on the Grammys. Not a song you want your 6-year-old to sing along to. So many questions I had to answer after. So how have you guys been over the past few weeks? It's been a long time, huh?
It's been a long time. It's been a while. It's been a good while.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, man. It's been good. Nice little break. You know, I only got the flu twice. It's been a nice little break. I turned 40 a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so that was a nice little celebration. Don't congratulate me. Jesus Christ. This is the wrong time, wrong place. But yeah, I mean, we've been waiting to get back, but we've had a lot of things going on, man, especially 40th. Jesus Christ, I'm old. Joseph, how you been?
I've been okay. I've been relaxing. I've been taking my time to find my inner peace.
Give me time.
You know, trying to, it's New Year. You make all those promises that you don't intend to keep, but hopefully I keep a few more this time. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a nice little break. It's been nice to hear from people wondering when we're coming back. That's really cool. It's really surprising.
Yes. I know. For all of you out there, we're not dead like Paul McCartney certainly is. We're still alive.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's crazy, Joseph. You said keeping promises. The only promise we didn't keep is trying to get this episode out 5 weeks ago. But other than that,
this is supposed to be our Christmas episode. We're supposed to give you Christmas with a bang. It was our birthday or Christmas gift to all y'all, but we're a little bit late, just a bit, just a tad.
But we're happy to be back. We're happy to talk about a topic we're very passionate about. 2000's love song. Yes.
2006.
2006. So guys, we talked about 90s sexy songs in a previous episode, and they're for the most part, little tame, right? Compared to these songs. Do you think the sexiest
I don't know, Boys to Men, I'll make love to you on the floor. On the floor.
Do you think the sexiest songs of the 2000s were subtle, or did they lean towards being more overtly seductive? What are your thoughts?
Oh, they're way more overtly seductive. Went from guys wearing like Gap clothes and singing about making love to like, don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? I mean, there's a lot of like over the top, overly overt, like out there lyrics and songs. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about them when we do our honorable mentions and our picks. But yeah, I think it was little more upfront and in your face in the 2000s.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only thing with this situation is, and I mentioned this to Bob, maybe 4 weeks ago when we were actually planning to do this.
That you're bringing sexy back.
Yeah, I was trying to, but the difference, yes, very, very more overt. Like you said, the '90s songs were probably a little bit more tamed. But the thing was, for some reason, and I don't know if y'all agree with me, they were better though. Like, am I wrong in saying like the 2000s were?
Songs.
I think so. Yeah.
It's not that they're bad songs, that they're good songs, but like, did you struggle to find a song that you were like very like, oh, that's the fucking song? I did. I'm happy with my selection, but
bet you are.
It was a little it was a little like, like, fuck, who do you pick? Like, I don't know, the songs, maybe because of what you said or what we all agree with, the 2000s were a little bit more in your face, a little more open about it, like, no holds barred.
We don't think anybody's going to take us seriously talking about our milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. That's what it is. It's really difficult. It was a difficult choice.
That was a very popular song, obviously. Is it the best?
Still is.
Not really. Like, I mean, I didn't think it was that great of a song, but like, it's on a list like this because of its subject matter and things like that. And I don't know. I just found that the '90s songs were better, at least musically, than what we found in the 2000s, even though they were more in your face and more like, straight to the point, I guess.
Do I think 2000 songs were sexier? Yes, but I do think in the 90s things had deeper meaning. I mean, things moved quicker. Sex was now an objective, quicker approach. It was quickly approached, but there was more of a gameplay. Quickerly approached in that era.
And 2 minutes.
There was a game plan to that era. There was an elucidation to things. It was florid, and there was foreplay. Also, you know what? Here's a sort of hot take. We also had a president in the White House that liked to fuck, and he liked foreplay back in the 90s. So it was a similar time. We just want to fuck and have sex and, just get along. The things in the 90s were just, I think they were dictated, maybe the wrong word, by somebody
or maybe the right word.
By somebody in the White House who actually was known more so for his relationships outside of his marriage than he was for his legislation. I don't know. That's my take. That's why I think the 90s sort of so rusty.
Yeah, just a bit, just a tad. It's okay. But you know what? You still have those pretty bad impersonations. So hey, we're on point still. We're good. We're good.
I'm battling allergies here, so bear with me, everybody. Then you get to the 2000s, and you can't get through the first lyric without the word ass being mentioned. The 2000s brought a quick punch to the idea of a sex song. I think that's why relationships were ruined. Ass was mentioned too quickly. The mentioning of the word ass too quickly and social media ruined relationships for us way too quickly in the 2000s. That's what I'm saying. A lot of ass in the 2000s. Which artist?
Yeah.
Which artist do you think dominated the sexy song genre in the 2000s, and why?
No, okay. Do we really want to say this?
Sure.
Look, do it.
Okay, look.
Don't say juvenile.
Look, let's be real. This guy's a piece of shit, obviously, but the music R. Kelly was putting out in the 2000s as crap.
Well, now we know why, because he was
yes, exactly. Look, like I just want to say that real quick, and I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to talk about this dude. But that guy had some hits in the 2000s. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And if you look at like those songs in the 2000s, all the songs that were coming out, that guy was putting them out left and right. So I'll just leave it at that. Like, I think this guy was dominating this sort of style of music, this subject of music. I mean, obviously, but yeah, I'll end it right there with that. What do you guys think?
He was putting out hits left and right. He was also putting out eyes left and right.
I wanna piss on you.
What do you think, Bob?
Man, I think it was a definite mix of different artists. I mean, this is where everybody's getting a little more edgy. I mean, you have Britney Spears getting a little more edgy. I mean, granted, her first single was pretty out there with the lyrics that Christina Aguilera had, like "Dirty," "Get Mine, Get Yours." You had a lot of groups and bands kind of going in that direction. I mean, you even had hip hop artists. I mean, like even 50 Cent, he took you to the candy shop, right, Joseph? So you have all these different artists kind of turning a notch. turning it up a notch and kind of making their music more sexualized, you could say. So I think a lot of them, man. I don't really have a specific artist, but I think a lot of bands, groups, artists were kind of going in that direction.
Everything was such a metaphor, right? They would take like the most innocent thing and turn it into something just so vulgar, right? Like Candy Shop, you mentioned. Like, I'm going to take you to the candy shop, and it was just an incessant amount of just perversion and milkshake. You know,
never look at a Tootsie Roll the same way again.
But here's my dark horse selection. I think the crown goes to Incubus. Some of the songs I'd like to mention: Echo, Here in My Room, Stellar, Southern Girl. Brandon Boyd's voice, that lyrical intimacy, solid instrumentals. They were like the new metal band that wanted to just be held after a night of unbridled passion, you know? And I don't think their band culture was to aim for overt sexiness. They just knew how to blend emotion, groove, and passion. I think I would go for Incubus I would say Incubus in terms of a band that was really, you know, pushing the romance and the intimacy of the 2000s.
I don't know, but did they kiss a girl and like it? Like Katy Perry? I don't think so.
What's one underrated sexy song from the 2000s that deserves more attention?
I'm gonna laugh about this one because I've been sending Rand and Joseph a lot of Juan Mayer videos, memes on Instagram. If you haven't seen that, you need to find him on Instagram. Juan Mayor, hilarious stuff. I think Your Body is a Wonderland is a good little one.
Yeah,
underrated. I would say a little underrated, but I just kind of wanted to plug Juan Mayor. I think that guy's hilarious.
Yeah, song about Jennifer Love Hewitt, one of our faves. What about you, Joseph?
Underrated, maybe something like.
Joseph's going to mention Birthday Sex by Jeremy.
Yes, Dax, you know what?
That's your one. Joseph, when we first heard that song, Joseph had that playing for like 3 weeks straight.
It was a funny song. It's a good beat, funny song. I liked it. I don't know. Anyway,
Birthday Sex.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good one too. I'll throw one for Randy's sake. Slow Motion by Juvenile.
Oh, Slow Motion. Yeah, I like that.
I like that song a lot. It needs a little more.
You like it like that. Okay, get the lyrics right.
No.
My nominee would be Electric Feel by MGMT. They gave us 3 great hits, and then we didn't hear from them afterwards. Kids, Electric Feel, and Time to Pretend, and then they cut out on us. Maybe Time to Pretend too, depending how desperate you were. I don't know, but I would say Electric Feel by MGMT was a good, sexy song that wasn't really overtly sexual.
Yeah. It wasn't really overtly sexual in the lyrics, but had a good little beat.
Yes, very nice. So let's go on to our honorable mentions.
So she said, yes, very nice.
Bob, what do you got for your honorable mentions?
Okay, I only have a couple, man. I did mention Your Body is a Wonderland by John Mayer. You have to mention R. Kelly's Ignition. Justin Timberlake, he's bringing sexy back, obviously. I did have Peaches and Cream by 112.
Oh, yeah.
And you can... I didn't really listen to a lot of like the Milkshake song or like the Pussycat Dolls. I'm not really into that kind of music, but I'm sure they're pretty popular about those type of songs. I don't know. I'll stick with I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It by Katy Perry. So those would be the honorable mentions I get.
Cool. What do you got for us, Joseph?
All right. I'll keep it short too. I got Song. Cisco.
Yes.
Good song. Not the greatest of, but a good song. Anyway, yes. I got Candy Shop. I thought that was a good song. Of course, Bob mentioned Birthday Sex. I did like that song a lot. Peaches and Cream. I'll mention Sexy Back as well. And let's get some more love to John Mayer. We talked about him a couple of episodes ago.
His guitar play, right?
Let's give him a little bit more credits as a singer and songwriter. Actually, I think I just actually saw him do. He was at that Fire Aid concert. It was just the other day, and he did. And I've heard him do his cover of Free Fallin' before, and I think he sounds really awesome. He makes that song sound really good too. Yeah, let's give John Mayer a little bit of love. Let's add Your Body is a Wonderland as well.
What about Your Love Is Like Whoa?
No, there's a difference.
Yeah, I know. Rand, what do you got, buddy?
I watch Fire Aid. The Red Hot Chili Peppers just need to stop. They need to put on clothes. They need to stop singing. I love them, but they need to stop. My honorable mentions: I had "Turn Me On" by Norah Jones. I had "Work It," Joseph, by Missy Elliott. I know you love that song. I did. I had
25 years ago, bro.
I had Breathe by Faith Hill because people who haul hay bales need love too. Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. I had Touch My Body by Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey probably...
A lot of them did. I
was trying to remember which one that was, but now I hear it in my head now.
Mariah Carey, probably the only artist who has both one of the best Christmas songs and best sexy songs, unless you count Andy Williams, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year and The Impossible Dream, but she's up there with him. By the way, I have trouble listening to any Christmas songs written before the 1980s. If they didn't accept Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, imagine what those singers thought of our grandparents. I'm just saying, very timely topic. Okay, I had Milkshake by Kelis, Milkshake. What do you? Oh, we talked about the song already.
I love it. I love the video. Yes. Okay, moving on.
Very beautiful woman. Very beautiful.
Yes, incredible. What happened to her? She didn't have
good singer too.
She didn't have anything after this, right? It was just Milkshake. She didn't. She
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, you can't really have anything after you have a milkshake.
Yeah,
it's pretty filling.
There's no combo on that one. So I had "Hot in Here" by Nelly. And by the way, he's still singing that song since he's having trouble paying his utilities nowadays. It's always hot in his house. Okay, so I'm kidding. The guy was everywhere for 8 years, and now he's not. A Climax by Usher. The song clocks in about under 4 minutes. So yeah, that sounds about right. Good amount of time, Usher. 4 minutes is good for all of us.
Nice and slow. We didn't mention nice and slow.
I also had Slow Motion, Joseph from Juvenile. The title describes how people my age move after the act, not during it, okay? So I mentioned Electric Feel by MGMT, Almost Anything by Incubus. Everything else was just too filthy for me. So those are our honorable mentions, guys.
Grow up, Rand. Grow up.
So we're going on to our selections, and I'm up first. Sexiest 2000 song. My selection is Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon. Look, I'm once again going with a non-conventional route here, okay? I want to make clear this song isn't about a burning venereal disease. People might say this song is too upbeat and it's too loud to be considered a true sexy song. I mean, but even the word sex is in the title. That already sells it. People might ask, why not something a little more mood setting? I'm here to tell you, you shouldn't stereotype a 2000 sexy song. Nothing should be stereotyped nowadays. The best basketball player right now is an overweight Eastern European, so don't judge. This song reaches into your soul and brings out nostalgia and memory. Once you hear this song, you remember where you were, who you were with, and why this song was so popular at the time it was so popular in 2008. This is a sort of strange song because the sound isn't trapped in a time warp, but it causes you to reflect about the time it was popular. I don't think anyone randomly sticks this song into a 2000s memory playlist. You intentionally seek it out because of the strong elements it holds and the subversion to your thoughts on what music sounded like during this time period. And that's a strong memory it withholds, but it still stands the test of time, guys. I mean, interesting fact, this was the song they would use to warm up for rehearsals to their other music until their record label told them that this was a song they should record and release. So lead vocalist Caleb Followill described this song as it's about a great sexual relationship with hot sex that you remember forever. It's pretty straightforward. There's no subtext or metaphors to this song. It's really a direct sexual song replete with instructions and certainty. Was it overplayed in 2008? Oh yeah, absolutely. We couldn't get by crossing the street without listening to this song. But what great songs in this decade weren't overplayed? I mean, this was before radio and Sirius XM became those bad side of the neighborhood malls that house glamour shots and the sharper image where nobody brought shit. I mean, they were bringing it, right? However, the first time you hear the song, you're immediately going to ask, who are these guys? And it may be from a standpoint.
And where do they get their hair done?
And it may be from a standpoint in which the subject matter of this song draws you to want to know, what the hell is up with these guys? You might be asking. Great guitar riff. The whole tone of the song is raw. It's unbridled energy, and that's what makes it a sexy song. It's so rhythmically deceptive. That's why some people think that without the word sex in the title, it's not a sexy song. I disagree. On the surface, it's a pop song with overt promiscuity whose chorus you wouldn't want to listen to in front of your parents, right? If the song didn't blow up like it did, it's an intense awakening of desire and urges. That's what it showed us. Still, I don't think its popularity should be an indictment. It was overplayed for a reason because it was catchy. It was a cool pop song and it overshadows what it truly feels like in category to categorize it as a sex song. Everybody says, well, the song was very poppy. It was up the Billboard charts, but it was a sex song by its own merit. And then lastly, that shouldn't stop anyone from getting down to it. I'm sure there's people out there who have sex to the theme song of Family Ties, but this song will get you into the mood. It's awesome. To me, it's the sexiest song of the 2000s. What do you guys think?
Let me preface my argument by first saying I saw these guys in Houston in August. This is my wife's favorite band, the Kings of Leon. So I can't say anything negative about your pick, Rand, or else I'll probably be sleeping on a couch. Having said that, the lyrics obviously extremely sexual. If you like go into the lyrics, obviously sex is on fire. I mean, it's a sexual song right off the bat. The only problem I have is with the opening lyrics. It's lay where you're laying, don't make a sound. I know they're watching. They're watching. Who the fuck is watching you, man? Close the door. Jesus. You're not supposed to be screwed around in your car in the middle of a parking lot so everybody could see you. So I think that the lyrics obviously are over the top. The song's a great song. This is a great band. Extremely popular song. I don't think the popularity of it or the overplay of it on the radio, kills it too much. What I can see though is that it was so popular and it's so much played on the radio that it may take away a bit from it being like overtly or over the top sexual. You kind of got to read between the lines and kind of read into the lyrics of it. But other than that, I think it's a good pick, man.
Starting the year off right, Joseph.
No, yeah. I think this is a great selection. If you're not familiar with the song, of course, like it's not gonna come out on an honorable mentions list that we put together, or if you're searching for something like that, it's probably not on there. Maybe because it's a rock song, it's not of the quote unquote pop genre or R&B. But if you deep dive into the lyrics, the lyrics are obviously very sexual, like both Bob and Rand said. It's very easy to understand that the subject matter. I see what you're saying, Rand. And this is coming from a guy who, like, okay, it's a rock song, so it's not necessarily considered. It doesn't give that. Oh, it's not the sexy song because why? Because you can't play it, during a session. Yes, you can. This is coming from the guy who's played fucking Pantera and death metal during sessions. So,
oh my god,
Jesus Christ.
So. It doesn't matter if it gets you in in a mood, a feeling, it brings a feeling upon you or a partner, then it's done its job. It's a very good, like musically, it's not particularly my taste, but I understand it. It's got some good musicianship. I'm always appreciative. I've heard other songs from these guys and I do like some other songs from them. So they are very talented musicians, very good singer, very good lyricist, very good storyteller. The person is for the point that he's trying to tell in the stories. And I see it 100%. I really do. Like the lyrics are fully like they're a little bit dirty.
Yeah, they're a lot of bit dirty.
They're a lot of bit dirty, right?
Yeah. So especially the second verse.
So this definitely fills with that vibe, and it doesn't I'll say it again. It doesn't matter that it's not the quote unquote typical sensual sound. You groove to whatever you groove, and if this is your groove, then great. Like that's awesome. It is definitely a song that can be go on a list like this or mentioned in the top tier for a subject like this.
We got to go back to something you mentioned, Joseph. What Pantera song can you, 5 minutes alone, maybe that's a Pantera song you could probably get down to, but
no, it's walk. She's daring him to walk afterwards.
I hope it's not Cemetery Gates, because that would be a little too morbid. Be summing it up.
It's the fastest Cemetery Gates you've ever had.
Wow, Pantera. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate us agreeing.
Yeah. By the way, y'all can't see, but Rand's wearing like this wig with longer hair, and he keeps brushing the bangs out of his eyes, just like the lead singer for Kings of Leon. Pretty hilarious. I'll see if we can get a picture for that for the gram.
Bob, what do you got for us?
See, I went completely opposite. I'm not going commercial, poppy. Your neighbors having sex and the top's down and cruising down California. That seems like a Kings of Leon type of thing. I went with something that's way more in your face. I went with Ludacris, What's Your Fantasy? This one's chock full of over the top sexual innuendos and everything sexual completely. And it's pretty funny because we're probably like juniors and seniors in high school jamming to this shit while we're, going to math class. So it's really over the top and stupid and funny. The lyrics again, I mean, it starts off with yeah, give it to me now, give it to me now. It's big time. I want to lick you from your head to your toes. That is like right off the bat. So we're starting off with 2 slaps in the face, just the way Joseph likes it, right, Joseph? So it's I think that this one's great. Ludacris is funny. It's got a great beat. Rand, I remember when I first mentioned this, you're like, oh, this is a strip club song. Yes, it definitely could be. Yes, that kind of fits the mold. I mean, you play it while you're cruising. You play it at a strip club. You play it while you're getting down, probably, maybe more than Pantera. I think it's just a great song, man. It was an extremely popular song, hugely popular song. Spring Break 03, you remember that, Joseph? This song was everywhere at all the clubs and everything. So this is my pick, man. I don't want to go too far into it in the lyrics because, I have to, I have children now, and I'm 40, so I can't do that anymore. But yeah, that's my pick, guys. What do y'all think?
My question is, what kind of women would have sex to a Pantera song? Do they have bullet wounds?
You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't understand it. You couldn't handle it, Rand.
That's just it. Okay.
Rand, Rand right now, after Joe said that he went to his legal pad and wrote down, need to buy black nail polish.
you know the girls I've dated. You know some of the girls I've dated. So, okay.
Yes, they're like, they look like WWE wrestlers. Yes, for sure. All right, Ludacris, what's your fantasy? Released in September of 2000. I will admit, I have been touched while this song is playing, but that was by the security guard patting me down at these places that used to drag me to, Bob.
Yeah, I dragged you to. Sure.
Bob knew every ATM that didn't charge a service fee. So he's always a good guy.
That's just being smart. That's being economical.
This was way back in the day. Okay, I can't believe Ludacris has been with us now for 4 decades. I mean, he's like Jason Bateman in terms that you think that they are younger than what they actually are, but when you see how long they've been around, you're like, wow, these people are like seasoned professionals who have done this for a while. And Ludacris is the type of act that if he released that song today, as old as he is now, I don't think anybody would, bat an eye about it. I think he's like eternally youthful. This song, it
looks the same. For
I know, and you didn't mention he's probably the same height as Jason Bateman, like 5'6".
I mean, this song, it's nice to hear a sexy song where both parties are represented. Bob, you didn't mention Shauna, who does some lyrics in this song, and she's.
I'm going to get to her in a minute. Okay, all right. I'm just kidding.
I mean, and she kind of just repeats the chorus while Ludacris just brags about how many things he could do, how he can introduce to the encounter. What he just keeps on singing about things he could introduce in the encounter, right? Not a very caring partner is Ludacris, right? He doesn't have a lot of.
He's gonna make it so good she doesn't want to leave, Randall. He wants to know what her fantasy is. He's going all out.
Not very diplomatic, right? Anyway, he's asking the woman in this video what her fantasy is, and then he goes about reeling off all of his fantasies. A selfish motherfucker. Okay, he's like a dirty Dr. Seuss, and this is like a filthy green eggs and ham. So the most ridiculous of lyrics is that
you're definitely a parrot. I can tell you. This is an older podcast now. You're older and wiser.
We are. So some of the ridiculous lyrics, he's singing about engaging at the top of a roof and then proceeds to tell the woman, this all-encompassing woman, by the way, this every woman, he asks her, for her boyfriend not to get mad at him after he violates her, right? I just found that hilarious, right? Although he's very selfish, he's very creative. In the Georgia Dome, on the 50-yard line, on the beach with black sand, on top of his Escalade, that's got to be uncomfortable. Can we find out what happened to Shauna? I mean, his singer and his co-singer, because
they've been married for like 30 years since the song came out.
I have a feeling she's a high school teacher praying none of her students ever discover her involvement on this track, right? You have to admit, this song helps set the trend of what current music sounds like. I mean, yes, it's very much steeped in that like turn of the millennium where 90s go into 2000s, but it set the tone. It's raunchy, but it's not my back raunchy. It's not Two Life Crew raunchy. A strong debut for Ludacris, but how do we get from Percy Sledges When a Man Loves a Woman to I want to lick you from your head to your toes? How do we get there? How did we make that transition? Was it because of Friday Night Cinemax? Was it the Emmanuel series that brought us to this point? I don't know. I had to watch this video 5 times, and it's a high quality video. I love
Queen of the Galaxy.
This reminds me of the time where everyone dressed and acted like they were in the Fast and the Furious. I think that there's a point between
I don't know who you used to hang out with.
what is absurdly dirty and what is sexy. And I think this is raunchy, but it's a fun, raunchy song. Would I call it sexy? No. Would I call it raunchy, funny, and sort of like, nudge your buddy on the arm when the song comes out saying, check out this ridiculous song? Yes, it's a fun song. What do you think, Joseph?
This is why you never got laid. You're nudging your buddy instead of nudging a... Geez, never mind. Joseph.
Let's go.
Just go. So she said, Red.
I think it's I'm obviously a fan of this song because I am a Ludacris fan. He doesn't put out the same steady stream of music nowadays.
He's an actor now, so
yeah, he's good, and he's actually pretty good as an actor. So let's give him his props on that. In the early 2000s, Ludacris was everywhere, man. He was putting out song after song. They were good songs, definitely. I get what you're saying, Ran. A little raunchy because of this, the lyrics, but at this, I mean, this is 2000s. We just said in the very beginning that the 2000s were a little more open with the raunchiness, and this was the norm. So yeah, I see Bob's point too. This is this is probably a better song to select than during a session than maybe some Pantera or yeah. Which, by the way, I know I mentioned Pantera first because that's the first band that came to my head, but it was more like a Deftones thing. You can play the Deftones during
yeah. You want to cry afterwards
or during.
So, but yeah, I mean, you could put. Obviously, there's no reason why this song can't be on during the sesh. But yeah, I got. Yeah, what isn't a strip club song at these days? So, but I get it with Bob's selection. It's the lyrics are. Hey, if the lyrics are talking in a particular way, the guy. I like your funny breakdown of it of him being like, well, tell me what's your fantasy, but let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I thought that was funny. I'll give you props for that. I like the song. I think it's a good selection. Everything doesn't have to be slowed down. I mean, we got so far. We got two different styles going on here. We got the rock vibe. We got the hip hop vibe right now going on,
and we got Randall's bangs.
Everything's very diverse in what the 2000s was with this subject matter.
Let me ask you both.
Maybe if you had picked Splash Waterfalls, you would have been a little more. Splash Waterfalls by Ludacris?
Oh yeah,
it's
great song. It's a little more intimate. Yeah, I will ask this. Can you have sex to this song without can you take the encounter seriously with this guy?
Goddamn right he can, sir. It's because when this song came out, Rand was already in college and he thought he was sophisticated and all that. We're still in high school. We're crazy.
I don't know what house parties you guys were going to. Pantera and Ludacris. I don't know.
Hey, don't forget the Deftones. Randall was his house party. They were listening to "When a Man Loves a Woman." I mean, which house party would you really want to go to, folks? Really, honestly, answer that. We're gonna put up a poll.
Joseph, what do you got for us?
All right, my selection is I'm going with D'Angelo's Untitled. How is it? Is it in parentheses Untitled?
Why are you taking off your shirt?
Yes, Untitled.
Untitled, right?
Not untittied. Okay.
Who said untittied?
D'Angelo doesn't wear a shirt in the music video, right? Come on, man.
This song by D'Angelo, I've always called it the "How Does It Feel" song because that's what he says over and over. Anyway, look, this is let's take a second away from the video. I know you all have seen the video. I know everybody's seen the video after I've mentioned the name of this song. D'Angelo's talent, his musical talent, and his vocal talent is on full display here in this song.
Apparently, he's got another talent,
and it's on full display, and almost literally, if you're watching the video, okay. Yes. I think he's got a really great voice. I am a fan of his voice. I was not a big fan of his music, but he does have a good voice. I've heard some of his later songs in his career, and I did like them because he's obviously matured as an individual, as a man, and he's made more. There's a song that he made from a game that I've played. Yes, I played Red Dead Redemption 2. Who hasn't played Red Dead Redemption 2? Don't hold that against me. Anyway, there's a song that he sang that he wrote for that game, and it's a very good song. It's completely different. Anyway, so I'm a fan. I'm just trying to give everybody let them know that I'm a fan. Like I said, I think he's got a really great voice. If you're really big into R&B, the 2000s R&B, this was your guy to listen to. His voice, his passion, it's all there. The groove of the beats, the instrumentals of the song is very, very good. This is a very good instrumental R&B music piece. The track is a masterpiece in pure R&B, so to speak.
It's not the only piece.
You listen to this song and you soak in the vibe of the song. That's a funny word to use in a topic like this. Soak. Soak.
Back to R. Kelly. Okay.
Okay. I did it. You threw it back. Okay. Let's move on, everybody. I went to YouTube comments just to get the vibe of people going back. And a lot of people like listen to it and were commenting on it and just themselves going back to another era of music. And I like this one in particular. Candles, incense, adult beverages, this song in the background, and it's on.
Oh, shit. Sounds like Kenny from Can't Hardly Wait.
And I thought that one was so funny. I was like, yeah, it probably was, because it's a great song. Look, I don't know too much R&B of this era. I really don't. But back in the days, the R&B scene was, and goes, hand in hand with the 90s and 2000s, sexy songs that we spoke of, that we're speaking of now. I think this guy was on another level. A name that we didn't mention earlier was Brian McKnight, who had some really good songs.
Very good.
I'm pretty sure we said Usher. But this guy, like this guy, Brian McKnight, even maybe a little Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, Common too.
Yeah, Common, Jagged Edge, the guys from Jagged Edge. These individuals kept it closer to the 60s and 70s R&B, and I really like that, because we all know that was a good time for music and
great vibe
of music. And I think that's what this song captures. It captures that with its also like new age, where it's a new time. 2000s were more riskier, were
risque.
I mean, obviously the dude's doing the music video where he's basically naked and everybody thought he was getting a blowjob during it. So
he wasn't.
Don't
ruin this for me, man.
I've heard he actually regrets making the video.
Yes,
because he said it took away from this. He's very proud of the song. He very much likes the song. It is a great song.
Now my kids are older. I don't want them seeing that shit.
as I've selected it, it's a great song. And he actually now talks about it. Like, I think doing that video took away from the song, and he regrets it in that style. Another funny one that I just want to end this off was somebody said 25 years later, this song still makes you think, man, am I doing enough sit-ups?
Absolutely.
Definitely not enough. Shit.
Not enough. Not to look like this guy. No
shit, dude.
So that's my selection. I think this is a really great song. Really, really fits this vibe. Can play it, to set the mood, things like that. Really, and the lyrics are obviously. I didn't go over the lyrics, but there's some good subject matter in there. Guys, what do you think?
I just pray that this week's cover art by Creative Little Pill is not us mimicking this video. Please. We will drop so many listeners. Okay, so I'm showing...
Or add them. Shit, we'll probably add a lot more.
I'm showing the release date of the song as January 1st, 2000. So it just got in there, Joseph. So the video...
Whoa.
The video became more popular than the song, and D'Angelo regretted making the video, as you mentioned, Joseph, because people were more focused on his physique than they were his talent. And he was a very talented singer. He has this great... Mm-hmm, he's excellent. He has this great neo-soul voice, great neo-soul artist. But this video immediately reduced him to a sex symbol. This was a serious artist. Personally, I would have been just fine with having six-pack abs and not giving a damn about how I sing, but that's just me, right? There's a GQ article where he talks about how he's very introverted, and when he'd perform on tour, women wanted to take off his shirt, and they would throw money at him. They would throw, underwear at him, and it just made him feel uncomfortable. Again, something I would have been okay with if it was me. But a lot of body issues developed from this for D'Angelo. He gained weight, and he didn't want to be the guy who is known for what he looked like. This song is truly authentic. The instruments, the instrumentation, the lyrical content. This was a pure sounding song, and yes, that does make it a sexy song. I think this is a great pick. D'Angelo has such an interesting story. Here's a guy, he was an established neo-soul singer. The end of the 90s and the start of the 2000s focused more on how you looked rather than how you sounded. You couldn't be Phil Collins or Lionel Richie anymore. If you were singing about deeply involved romances, you had to look like you were on the cover of a romance novel. D'Angelo spends 4 months with a celebrity trainer, Mark Jenkins, to get ripped. Remember, this was an introverted guy who once wore glasses, played video games, and he was a true artist, not a celebrity. He makes this video, and instantly he becomes a sex symbol. I saw a clip where Questlove, who plays drums on D'Angelo's tour, mentioned how D'Angelo would look in the mirror and say, "I don't look good enough." And he would do half an hour of push-ups and crunches, delaying the show. Definitely not healthy, not a healthy mindset. There was substance abuse, there was arrest, rehab, mental health issues. It's incredible how beautiful this song is by itself, and it's a piece of art, and it's a mood song. But the repercussions are incredible for D'Angelo. You release this song today and let D'Angelo be who he wants to be, he would have not only had a hit, but he could have possibly continued his career trajectory unbothered and unencumbered, because we accept talent for talent, and attractiveness is a much broader term than a chiseled physique back in the early 2000s. Joseph, it's a great selection. It really is, but the song is overshadowed by imagery. The record company, the producers, they created this monster, right? There was big issues in the early 2000s. MTV was still playing videos. You had the internet still in its infancy. Image was everything. It wasn't until Ruben Studdard broke through with "I'm Sorry for 2004" that we canceled this nonsense. Poor Ruben.
I forgot his outfits and those stupid hats he wore.
Add that to my honorable mentions. My bad. I forgot.
Poor Ruben Studdard catching a stray, but he was the anti. He was the anti-D'Angelo. He was like the Mickey D'Angelo. Okay, so yes, great time.
Terrible joke. Terrible.
Great, timeless, sexy song. But what launched D'Angelo to superstardom could have killed him. But it seems like he's in a good headspace now.
Yes,
very happy for him. What do you think?
That's Bob? You use that phrase on purpose, right? Headspace, because of the music video. I know what you did there. I see what you did there. This song, I mean, D'Angelo, extremely talented singer. It would have been nothing without the video, man. I think the video, it seals the deal for it as far as it being a quote unquote sexy song of the 2000s. Great, like I said, great voice, ton of imagery. So he wasn't getting, he wasn't fooling around during the video. That's what the thing is. It was just a rumor.
I don't know. Rumor.
Why did the producer keep walking by, giving him a high five? That's what I want to know. It is. So D'Angelo, he amazing abs. Now then he went to saying that dad bods are the way to go. Good job, D'Angelo, man. I'm proud of you. It makes me feel better about myself. This is a great pick, dude. If we're going by music video alone, I mean, like the shot of him, it's like Sinead O'Connor of the 90s, like just her thing with the turtleneck and singing single tear. And then you have like 2000s, which is the complete invert of that, like ripped it apart and being like shirtless abs, singing about a sexual content. And then that kind of sexual innuendo you think it's going on in the music video that may or not be happening. So definitely the wins as far as like the video is concerned in my point of view, hands down. But yeah, I think it's a great pick, man. It's a really cool song.
Final words on 2000s sexy songs, or final words on the sexiest 2000 songs, I should say.
I don't think that. I think that we had a great time talking about the 90s version because a lot of times they were laughable.
Yes.
And I don't think we had that kind of I mean, looking back at it now, it's kind of funny, but it was very sexual in content and nature and lyrics and music videos. So it was definitely in your face and out there. And I think that's the biggest contrast between our 90s version or 90s show compared to this show. And I did have a lot of fun. It took me back down memory lane and a lot of high school songs and early college songs. So it was a cool experience kind of going through it. And plus we had like 6 weeks to look it up. So it worked out.
Joseph?
I'll stick to what I said earlier in the beginning. A lot of songs, a lot of really good songs. These are all, I like each of these songs that we selected on, and I like a lot of the honorable mentions. Like I said in the beginning, I just think that artistically, I struggled. Yeah, I struggled with making a selection because nothing really like separated itself for me as far as all the songs. There was so many of them. There was like, I think when I was doing research, it was, I mean, the list was to be the title of the list was a pun. It was but like they put together a list of 69 songs. It's like the 69 most sexiest songs of the 2000s, and I'm like okay, you could literally almost probably, if you add and I looked at that list and I'm like, well, there's songs that could be on this list. You can honestly make this 100. Like there's so many of them, and the market was so saturated with it. I think it takes away from the artistry. And I guess like, and of course, I know a lot of the times we're always like, oh, the 90s were the better, because that was more the general. I mean, and I agree with that most of the time, and I'm more than willing to admit when the 90s weren't the best in this situation, or the 90s, you know, something, another genre, a decade was better. But in this case, like I said, maybe just because there's so many of them, it was hard for me to make this selection. And you
can't use a word like hard when we're talking about these songs, Joseph. Come on, you got to use your words wiser.
I liked a lot of the songs they do. I was a fan of them. I had, like Bob said, it took us back to our late senior, you know, last couple of years of high school and first couple of years of college, and us burning CDs and putting a lot of these songs on those CDs. But they don't really stand out artistically and musically. I don't think any of them are really like fucking, you know, like iconic fucking songs, but good songs nonetheless.
There's a Pantera song called Mouth for War. How do you make love to that song? Okay, so
you can actually use the song
Mouth for War. Come on.
They also have another song called Use My Third Arm. So
yeah, I saw that. Yeah. All right.
Just, you know,
like a baby's arm holding an apple.
You know, the 2000s love songs, it was all provocative pop seduction, right? R&B was bringing the heat. Hip hop was bringing that balance of swagger. It was all about imagery, confidence, fun. And as we get further away from the decade, you can appreciate its influence and the boundaries they pushed. It was a very open time to sing about redefined sexuality. I think many hits now took a step back and said, we can sing about the romance of love and not just the act of lovemaking. So it's a smarter, sustainable business model for these love tracks. But in the 2000s, this was a cash pit. These sexy songs. I mean, everybody was putting out these attempts to capitalize on what the early 2000s was in terms of that sexual revolution, right?
And I think, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but another thing too, I think the 2000s were really big for hip hop and pop. Above all, hip hop, rap, and pop were like the big money makers. So things like R&B, the quote unquote sexy songs, took a back step to what was more, you know, people wanted to party. We partied in the 2000s. You know, Spring Break, MTV Spring Break, that was fucking huge. That was huge in the 2000s. So I think songs like this and the subject matter of or lack thereof of subject matter, I don't know, they took a back seat, and maybe that's why I feel the way I feel about, like, you know, how not having so many memorable ones. Continue, Rand. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, you're good. That wraps up what we were just talking and defining about the sexy songs of the 2000s. I think both of you hit the nail on the head in terms of what it really meant.
There we go, using words like that, phrases like that.
To grow up in that era, right? So good. I'm sorry. Good talk, guys.
Nice swig of whiskey there.
I had to. These allergies are killing me, so I had to. My voice was drying out. Guys, before we conclude, I know that we won't have the time to talk about everything we've watched over the past 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, before we get to our Super Bowl predictions, I watched this horrible movie yesterday, and I'm out on Will Ferrell.
But you still haven't watched Long Legs.
I watched. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I watched You're Cordially Invited on Amazon. Will Ferrell. I should have cashed out my chips in 2017 after Daddy's Home 2. I'm out on him. I could not stand him in this movie.
Really, he's just over the top Will Ferrell again.
Yeah, it was
Will Ferrell. It's the same thing.
Weatherspoon. It was just bad. I did balance it off by concluding Landman, which is a great show. But I'm out on Will Ferrell, man.
Yeah, I could see that. I saw the commercial for it. I was like, no, I'm not sure. Ridiculous. But you like Landman. That's cool. I've watched the first few episodes of American Primeval, and that's good. That shit's fucking awesome. It is awesome. First episode hooked me in.
Yeah.
We watched, we're watching Severance now, season 2. If you haven't seen that, I mean, that amazing shit, trippy show. Kevin Can Fuck Himself. I love that show. It's on Netflix. Hilarious. Such a great concept. I don't know if you've seen it, guys. Great concept. It's like half sitcom, half like serious. It's a weird fucking mix. When I first saw the first episode, I was like, what the hell is this? And continuously watching it. It's a great concept. I really do like it. So if you haven't seen Kevin Can Fuck Himself, check that out. Really cool. Severance, obviously American Primeval if you're into like the old Wild West and shit like that. It's pretty cool.
Joseph, what are you watching?
Nothing really new right now. Shorzy came back, Shorzy season 4, so I'm 3 episodes in so far. It's all been released. Really happy about that. So I haven't seen, I think since the last time we were here, I haven't really seen anything in the theater. I mean, I haven't gone to the theaters, but I did catch that Abigail movie, not the doll one, like the vampire one. Or
how was that?
It was all right. I mean,
they trapped themselves inside with that little girl, like they're gonna kidnap her, and then she's a vampire.
Yeah, it was entertaining enough, interesting story, and so I mean, it is what it is.
So many movies.
I do want to see if anybody goes to hopefully check it out. There's this new movie made by the studio that did Long Legs called Presence. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be trippy. They say it's completely different and scary because you're the point of view of the ghost.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Which I was on the fence about, but like the way that people are describing it, at least it's like critics and whatnot. And I mean, obviously I'm a Lucy Liu fan. So, but yeah, it's supposedly it's something completely different and it piqued my interest, and it's made by the studio that did Long Legs, which this Neon studio, I think they're coming into their own right now, putting out all these, dark, scary.
Didn't they release one called like Bad Monkey or something like that?
Yeah, they're also doing the Bad Monkey that's going to come out. Either it's out right now or it's coming out. Something about a possessed monkey doll. Like I don't know. Like it's just so Neon Studios doing some cool shit. I mean, obviously we're not trying to plug them, but try to go see those and report back to you all on that. But yeah, that's about it.
Quickly, guys, big day in sports today. We had Luka going to the Lakers, AD going to the Mavericks.
Motherfucker.
The Aaron Fox coming to the Spurs.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was an awesome trade. I feel bad this is a good thing for the Lakers. I know Lakers fans are like, oh my God, can't wait to see LeBron with Luka, and what are they going to do? Enjoy it for the next few months, because next year LeBron's ass is gone because the new king is in town and his name is Luka. He's going to take over that team. They're going to build around him, and I guarantee you LeBron's not going to like playing second fiddle to Luka, because he needs the ball. He should have the ball majority of the game. He controls the tempo of the game. He's the best player in the league. So I wonder how that's going to play out there in LA. But getting Fox with San Antonio, great pickup,
and not losing anybody detrimental to the rotation.
Yeah, I heard they didn't lose any real core. And they
Trey Jones and Zach. I forgot his last name. Collins. Zach Collins. Yeah.
And they still have control of some picks.
Atlanta's pick, yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's go. Okay.
I mean, very happy about that. I mean, a lot of trades. Go ahead.
I'm not too dialed into the Spurs lately because it's a golden era kid. The three, the Timmy D era. I have heard though reports of Pop getting better, and Pop was our guy back then too.
Yeah.
So I hope he's able to return. So I know we're getting off, tangent.
No, I picture like once he heard De'Aaron Fox, he started like ripping like needles from his arm and shit. He started walking out of the hospital, down open in the back.
So hopefully Popovich is doing much better, getting healthy, and hopefully we see him there on the sideline again. I haven't been to a Spurs game in a while, but might be time to go see one.
I know.
He'll be back soon. Guys, let's wrap up by talking Super Bowl. Who do you got for the big game?
Oh man, shit. I think that I've been saying it all along. If the Eagles can run the ball with Saquon Barkley and he can continue this amazing run that he's been doing in the playoffs throughout the year, actually, I think they win, man. I think they win. They have a lot of star power. They're very talented defense. I think that they win. But then again, as the old saying goes, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, man, and Andy Reid and the refs. So it's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be pretty tough sledding for the Eagles. Have you seen that GIF? I need to post this meme, the funniest meme. They posted a lot of shit. They beat my Texans. I was kind of bitter about that. We played kind of
questionable calls on the quarterback.
Some my ass. There's a lot of questions. And they go again and they do it again. They fuck over the Bills a little bit. And then they're like, oh, it's Mahomes and his wife's anniversary or something like. Oh no, it was like a picture of Mahomes and his wife. And at the top, it said, Mahomes' wife, Brittany Mahomes, stands by her man. And underneath it, they're like, of course, she has to stand next to him because if she touches him, it's a 15-yard penalty. Fucking funny shit. So many great memes. But yeah, I think that as long as the referees don't get involved and they call it even, I think the Eagles should win, man. They're the more talented team. I know Joseph hates to hear that because he hates the Eagles. Fly, baby, fly. And he likes Mahomes because Texas Tech. But yeah, Joseph, go for it.
Yeah, it's not just that. I mean, I was a full Cowboys fan, so for years I've been trained to hate the Eagles.
Well, you're not a Cowboys fan anymore. He's wearing a Houston Texans hat, folks.
I have no idea what the fuck those guys are doing. I'm so done right now. But anyway, I in good conscience cannot root for the Eagles. I never would. And then the only thing adding fuel to the fire was I saw this video online of this guy who just wanted to go see his team play Washington, and the fans like tore him to shreds while he was just trying to walk, to the parking lot, and even threatening his life at one point. So fuck you, weird ass Philly fans.
We have a lot of listeners from the Pennsylvania area. No, we love you guys.
Listeners, Philly fans can go fuck themselves. But yes, I am a Texas Tech fan. I'm a Texas Tech supporter for many years. I've watched Patrick Mahomes' entire college career, and I was a big fan of that kid. I knew he was going to be something special. Somebody took a chance on him. Unfortunately, I heard the Texans almost took a chance on him, which would have been nice as well.
Well, yeah, but they traded up and they took him one spot ahead. I mean, we did have Deshaun Watson. Look how good he did.
The Chiefs took him away from him.
See the amount of tips that he gave his massage therapist.
Him and Justin Tucker, yes.
Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ.
So
really, he wasn't a Tucker.
I'm rooting. Rooting for Patrick Mahomes. I will quickly.
I have to agree. If Saquon Barkley has a big game, they win. The Eagles will win. If they control clock, they control the line of scrimmage, and they make sure to keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, they will win the game. And I think Philadelphia is going to take it. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be maybe 34-28 around that neighborhood. But I think I'm just worried about the Eagles play calling. Their head coach is not the smartest guy. Offensive coordinator is good, but I mean, we'll see what they do. Do.
Okay, so over under Patrick Mahomes touchdowns versus how many times they show
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift in the stands? I would say they show her more than Patrick Mahomes scores touchdowns. I think 3-2, yeah. 3-2 at least.
I mean, everybody's saying the script says that Kelsey proposes to her at the 50-yard line at the end when they win the title.
Conspiracy theory, script bullshit.
I know. I wonder who's going to have the bigger diamond wedding ring, him or her.
Yes. You really think grown men who played football their entire lives would submit to a script? You all are fucking morons.
At the 50-yard line, Joseph.
Well, guys, sorry, Saquon. Sorry. I guess I got okay. I understand. I'm not supposed to win the
Make
Super Bowl.
Make sure you take a knee and drop the ball.
With Lover blasting in the sound system, and they're hugging, and there's a spotlight on them. It's going to be beautiful. I read the script. So, all right, guys, great show back, guys. We're going to be more consistent to you listeners, so we'll be back as quickly. We're not going to wait another 6 weeks, guys.
We'll be back in a week or so, guys. So be ready.
Yeah, the nice new topic coming up.
Yes,
what'd you say?
Mention it.
Yes,
nice new topic coming up.
Oh.
And that's our show, everyone. Listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Hit us up and let us know what you think the sexiest song of the 2000s was. Most importantly, let us know what you think about the show. You may reach us at formidableopponents@gmail.com and follow us on all forms of social media by searching for Formidable Opponents. We want to thank Creative Little Pill for her great artwork. Please follow her on Instagram at Creative Little Pill. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on any podcast platform you're listening to us on. And join us next episodes. We'll be back with Best 90s Debut Single. So for Bob, Joseph, and D'Angelo, we'll see y'all next time.
By the way, folks, we were all single in the 90s.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.